to the Aesthetics Circle podcast, and we have our competition winner in today, Jodie. Now, thank you so much, Jodie, for coming in. And let's just say, how beautiful does Jodie look?
Thank you, Cheree. Honestly, I feel absolutely amazing, honestly.
So let's start from the beginning, Jodie. Tell me your age, where you're from, and a little bit about yourself.
Right, I'm Jodie. I'm 43. I have 4 children, 5 great-grandchildren. I'm a Makeover for my husband. I look after him 24/7 with the help of a care team. And yeah, 2 dogs, 2 cats.
Busy life. So the reason why we did an amazing makeover for you today, you've been into the clinic, you've had your Botox done, you've had your threads done, and Jodie just looks amazing. Like, your reveal has been really good, and it's been great to see your journey and to see you really blossom in front of us all, really, because when we first started doing your makeover, you was very quiet, you was very shy, and look at you now, you look stunning, your hair looks amazing. I just want to say thank you to the team as well, because the girls behind the scenes have done an amazing job.
Absolutely.
Your outfit looks stunning. Deborah Ray, she smashed it with the outfit. We will show you some of the behind the scenes. Your makeup by Kaylee looks amazing, and your hair by Lainey looks great as well, and obviously your face by me. That looks amazing as well. And we love a makeover, and thank you so much, and you deserve this makeover. So let's go back to the beginning on why, when we did the videos and everyone was voting for you on social media, let's go back to the beginning with your tape on why you wanted to win this competition.
I've obviously got nominated for the competition because of 9 years ago. Me and my husband was involved in a motorbike accident that left Lee quadriplegic and in a wheelchair. Like, he's complex care. So yeah, for the last 9 years I've been in and out of hospitals with him, rehabs, and eventually got him home. So every day we have the care team in, they stay at ours 24/7, and it's just constant day in, day out of that, looking after Lee, the kids, the grandkids. It's just constant and hard, yeah.
It's hard work.
Yeah.
So tell me, let's go back to the beginning. Tell me, how long have you and Lee been together?
Oh gosh, me and Lee have been together forever. I've been with Lee since I was 14. I was at school and I was with Lee before. I was 14. I got married when I was 21. We had our first child, Callum, when I was 15 when I fell pregnant with Callum.
Wow.
I was 16 when I had him. And obviously Lee's the dad of all 4 children, sort of thing, so we just carried on and on and on and on. As Lee's an only child, I think that's why. But yeah, and then we went on holiday for the first time without the children, obviously.
Take your time. That's it.
Like 9 years ago. For the first time without the children, just obviously because me and Lee had never been away on our own. And we was in a little fishing village, and so we hired a motorbike out because we couldn't get anywhere. And a car ploughed into the side of us, and that's that. So we got stuck out in Spain for about eight weeks. And the children were in England, and my parents. Brilliant. My dad flew out straight away to me. My mum obviously gathered all the children up and looked after them with my sister for the 8 weeks that we was out there. That was the struggle. Obviously Lee was fighting for his life then. He was in ICU. So we couldn't repatriate him for about 8 weeks because Lee was critical. So I repatriated him 8 weeks later, which we had to do privately because a lot of insurance companies, you get insurance to fly and stuff, but you don't for your extra sports, water sports and stuff like that, you need a different insurance sort of thing. So our insurance didn't cover Lee to get him repatriated, so obviously...
So what advice would you give to people after what you've gone through?
Yeah.
What advice would you say to people? Because obviously it's holiday season, everyone's going to be going on holiday soon.
You always think it's never going to happen to you. You always see it on Casualty or whatever, or the programmes. But it does happen to you, and it's so important to get that insurance. It's so important to get that insurance, and not just the travel insurance, it's the extra insurance. If you're going to hire out motorbikes, water sports or anything like that, you do need the extra insurance, and that's what I would suggest to anybody.
So you had insurance?
I did, travel insurance.
Travel insurance.
Yeah, but not...
So your travel insurance didn't cover what you needed.
Yeah.
So, like for me, or everybody watching the show, they would think, okay, you get travel insurance, you think you're going to be covered for everything, but you wasn't.
You're not. No.
No. So what are you covered for?
Yeah, you're covered for your holiday, if your flight's cancelled, if your holiday's cancelled or anything like that. That's what you're covered for. So you just, if you're going to take out like a motorbike or any water sports or anything extra, make sure you get the extra insurance to cover yourselves.
And what about the company that you got the motorbike from?
They wasn't very good at all. Honestly, they phoned me 2 weeks after. All that they was interested in was the money for their motorbike. That they didn't care that he was in hospital fighting for themselves, because all they wanted was the £5,000 because the motorbike was smashed up. So I had no more dealings with that. I said to them...
And was you injured as well?
I was injured, obviously nowhere near Lee, hence why I left it a year. I actually did break my shoulder and 2 of my discs in my neck, but I left it for a year sitting with Lee in ICU and rehabs and stuff. And then obviously I went to get checked, and I had to have an operation on my shoulder and onto my neck and my knees, but...
You was probably so traumatised.
I didn't think about myself, yeah. I just wanted Lee to be better and just sat beside him.
I mean, I knowing you, Jodie, I think you're a really strong woman, and I take my hat off to you because you're still with Lee. Like, that just goes to show what an amazing woman you are. You still kept the family together. You're helping Lee every day, and you are the backbone, I would say, to the whole family. I've met a couple of your daughters, and you've brought them up. They're beautiful kids. You brought them up so well, and you really truly deserve to win this makeover, and well, you've won it, and you look amazing. But can you just go back and, I know it's the first time really you spoke about it, because we both briefly spoke about all this in the clinic, and I was just crying because it was just me and you just was crying because it was just so sad what happened. And you're still going through that stress. You didn't get no money for it, you didn't get no compensation, you didn't get really any help. What happened when you was out there stuck?
I will say the Red Cross was absolutely amazing. They came out of nowhere. I didn't no phone calls or anything, and the lady from the Red Cross was absolutely amazing, and the hotelier that we was at, she had a lady friend from Thomas Cook that was English speaking, because obviously we was in a fishing village. I didn't even speak the normal Spanish, it was the masculine Spanish or whatever it was. So she came along and she got me on the flight, she took me over and everything else. So the Red Cross and the hotel that I stayed in were absolutely amazing.
And how long was you there for?
Overnight, because Lee got airlifted from Menorca to Mallorca in ambulance, an air ambulance. So I had to get from Menorca to Mallorca on my own, and I'm absolutely petrified of flying. But I come out completely out of my comfort zone, just done things that I just was on autopilot and just done. I remember coming up to the runway and seeing this plane with propellers, and I was just literally wow, I was so scared, but I done it. It was just
so your Spain trip was the first time you'd ever... Me
and Lee had been to go away together on our own without the children, obviously. Wow. So yeah, because I was a carer before anyway, so I was literally working every hour God send sort of thing, and Lee said, well, you need a break as well, so he sent the kids on Parents Get Lost and done us a 5-day holiday. So that happened on the third day in, I think it was.
Third day?
Third day in, yeah.
Wow, that's just, I couldn't imagine the stress that caused you. And it's still causing you stress today. It's not something that you've been able to get over. And obviously, Lee himself, what is every day for you, from when you get up to just tell me a full-on day what you do in your life.
Are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Really, it all revolves around Lee and the kids, sort of thing. Like, obviously, I get up. I do have a really amazing care team for Lee. They are amazing. We have like about a team of 8. They're there obviously, we've got Lee home. That Lee has his own bit downstairs. So the carers are there all the time with him. Obviously, I do my shifts and whatever else with him as well. But yeah, so we get up in the mornings. It's making sure Lee's okay, washed, dressed. And obviously he is quadriplegic, so we have to hoist him everywhere, sort of things. So hoist to the chair, or a chair to the hoist.
So all the house had to be
adapted. We had to actually move house because the funding from the council had been slashed. So we had to actually move. So that was actually probably the hardest thing. Is like we had been in that 3-bedroom house since the kids were little. So you can imagine how much accumulation of stuff and that. So yeah, moving the house was a mission just on my own. Moving Lee's summer house was the hardest out of it all, because obviously he'd literally just bought a summer house for a gym and I couldn't leave the summer house behind, sort of thing. So that was the hardest thing to move, but we got there like I did with everything. So they moved us into a house that's adapted now, so all of downstairs is adapted for Lee. So
it's hard.
It is hard.
And you've got the kids and you've got the grandkids.
I have.
So it's a constant.
It is. They're amazing. The children have adapted to it all. Absolutely amazing. And that's what the hardest thing was, because obviously when we was in Spain, the children were in England. So I didn't want the children to know the severity of Lee's the damage done to Lee. So obviously they didn't know at first, and they'd call me and say, "Can I speak to Daddy?" And then I was like, "Oh, he's downstairs." But they knew that we was inseparable. He would go without me and stuff. So it was very difficult to try and hide from them when we was in Spain, because I wanted to wrap them up in cotton wool and be there and cuddle them when they were told about it.
What do you say to your children when something so tragic happens?
I just didn't know how to tell them.
Yeah, you can't.
I couldn't. How I felt, I couldn't imagine how the children were going to take the news, sort of thing. So the whole time we was in Spain, I just asked my mum and my sisters not to tell them. But Watford Observer, as lovely as they were obviously, my friends done a Just Giving thing for obviously getting, when we got home, because obviously I had the money to get Lee home and repatriate him, but obviously we wouldn't be able to work or anything like that. So they done a Just Giving fund for us, and then obviously it went in the newspaper. The Watford Observer were calling, Heart FM were on, so the kids were finding out, and so it was very difficult for me. And then I had to say to my mum, lighten it a lot, Mum, and just obviously say. So then I had to say, obviously Dad's had an accident. Can I talk to him? I said, not at the moment, because the doctors are giving him special medication to just help him sleep, and obviously he's in a coma. So it was really hard to try and cover it up from the children until I got back from Spain, sort of thing. That was the hardest thing. And then obviously, how am I going to tell them when I do get home? And
that must have been awful.
They were devastated, but they've been my rock, honestly. They have been absolutely amazing. Like Cal was like 18, so that's a very difficult age.
Yeah.
And our youngest was 10, and the other two were in between like 12 and 13, so they were just starting senior school, and like Lee didn't see Lee start senior school at all. So it was that's when I started realising he's missing out on a lot of the growing up and stuff, sort of thing. And then I have to tear myself, because he's like in Harlow, I'm in Watford. So it was trying to get to Lee every day and then back for the kids for school.
How long was he in Harlow for? Is it Harlow Hospital?
He went from Spain, he came down back to Watford General, which we won't even go there.
No, don't go there.
Don't go there.
We want to hear everything.
They were very difficult in Spain. They were absolutely amazing. The word optimistic, I heard, I don't know how many times. That's all the doctor kept saying was, we're optimistic. It's how Lee They never said that Lee wouldn't do this, Lee wouldn't do that. They always said it's up to Lee. With brain damage, they can't tell how someone really is going to survive and how they're going to come back with. They can have the same images of brain damage, but they can completely recover differently. Mm-hmm. And that's all I thought. You don't know, so it's down to Lee. Mm-hmm. So that's how I had to just go with it and allow God to take the course of and how it was going to be, sort of thing.
So did you think, was you thinking positive and thinking, okay, he might get through this? Did he?
I never went into Lee's room with a tear. Outside the room, I would cry my eyes out. As soon as visiting time was, I wouldn't ever take positive. I would always be positive in front of Lee and never take negative to him.
Would he understand everything?
Yeah. He had like a prod thing in his brain, so that when there was no one there, that's how they knew. When there was no one there, it was just sort of thing. And as soon as he heard me, they'd see all the things, so that's how they knew that Lee wasn't brain dead. As soon as he heard my voice, he was like, I know her! So that's how they knew that obviously Lee wasn't brain dead, so then they carried on working with him. But when we got back to Watford, 8 weeks they worked on him in Spain, and it was absolutely amazing. And people say, foreign hospitals, it was amazing. Absolutely. If it didn't happen there, I don't think Lee would be here now. No. It was amazing. So, yeah, as soon as we got back to Watford, they were harsh with Lee. They were harsh with me, and said that this is what you get. This is what you see is what you get. And there was just no compassion or nothing there. Do you know what I mean?
And you would think, but being a British hospital, that the nurses would be, more understanding for what you've just gone through.
The nurses were brilliant. It was the doctors. It was the top. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because you've had your own trauma. Going through that is, trauma, as I see it. It's heartbreaking to try and look after your partner and your kids, and you're walking around with your injuries. It's just, horrendous.
And then they made that dreaded decision, can we turn the machines off? So we turned the machines off. And obviously come around to that, and Lee carried on breathing.
Oh my gosh, no way, they turned the machines off?
Yeah, and I said, well, it'll be what it'll be. And I said to the Lord, it will be what it will be, sort of thing. I'm strong, and he carried on breathing, and there was nothing there. So Lee carried on.
Oh my gosh.
So then I carried on. I couldn't give up with him being as strong as he was. That's what kept me going, and seeing how the strength and the courage that he had for life, sort of thing. And you just didn't want to go anywhere. I mean, Lee was on the brink. If you see some of the pictures I've got, they're heartbreaking, some of them. And then you see the recovery coming back. It's amazing. It is. It's amazing what.
Wow. Because having to make that decision of switching someone's machine off, I can't even imagine, because obviously I just lost my mum recently, and we had to do the same thing for my mum. And, I just remember looking at my mum and thinking, oh my God, they said there's nothing else we can do, Cheree, and we had to literally switch the machine off and watch her and just look at her pass away slowly. So I think for me that was probably one of the worst things ever. With you, I
was on tender hooks of
breathe,
Lee, and he did.
And he's breathed, and he's I feel like God's answered your prayers.
Yeah.
And he's been able to bring that life back into him again. But for you because I know what it's like sitting in the hospital, waiting and watching and looking and thinking, pleading, please God, please. It's something that I think stays in your mind forever as well. Forever. You never forget the smell of the hospital, the look, everything that was going on in that hospital that day, how you feel, the pain. That minute seems forever. And then he started breathing, and then did they do a recovery plan for him? Yeah,
so that's when it all kicked in properly. Then that's when they realised, and I think it's every 2 weeks they swap over complete teams, like the whole complete teams. So another team came in with an Irish man, and he said, well, Lee is showing that Lee will recover how Lee wants to. Just keep doing what you're doing, and Lee will keep doing what he's doing. As long as Lee fights, I will fight with him. And then it's like, a breath of fresh air, like a new doctor come in. And then he put things in place for Lee to move to the next place, which was Northwood Park. It's like a rehabilitation centre just to see what Lee can do, what he reacts to and stuff like that. That was quite harsh watching that, because they put Lee through a lot of things just to try and stimulate him. Like, they push on the chest hard, and it was hard to watch things and to do, but they were trying to get Lee to react, sort of thing. But that was hard.
To trigger his
I just wanted to wrap him up and say, leave him alone. Do you know what I mean? Watch him like Sleeping Beauty laying in the bed, because that's what he looked like. He didn't have any injuries. He literally looked just asleep, sort of thing. You wouldn't think that Lee had anything wrong, sort of thing.
Wow.
Literally, he just looked like he was asleep.
And how long was he in a coma for?
Coming up to a year, he was in a coma. So they call it they called it vegetative state at first, which is a horrible thing to call it, and then they call it consciousness.
So when they are asleep, should we say, unconscious, do the nurses still they feed him on a drip?
Yeah, so he has it straight into his belly.
Yeah.
He did have it up his nose. That's when you'll see the intro going up into the stomach. They do still have to feed Lee through that. He has got to swallow and everything back, but we actually take for granted on the swallowing. There's like 7 steps to a swallow. So obviously Lee's through that coma and stuff, and obviously he had the trachea through. It damages the trachea area and stuff like that. So he does have trouble with swallowing. So just so he doesn't aspirate and stuff like that, we still carry on through the peg feeding. And all medication and everything goes through there. But everything else, that's the only thing really, is Lee's got the peg and the trachea. But he breathes and everything by himself, so there's no machinery other than at night to feed him, sort of thing, which is brilliant.
Yeah. And how long has it been now?
Yeah, it's coming up to 9 years in August.
So you've seen him, get better along the way, but is he at that stage now where that's nothing's gonna change? Or
You never say never, but yeah, he seems to, for the last sort of 2-3 years, he's sort of stable. Like, he has very complicated communication. Like, he can blink twice for yes and once for no. And like these facial expressions you can get, like, you can have a conversation with Lee. It's complex. Like, a lot of the carers, you'd think there was actually someone else in the room with them. Like, they're having a full-blown conversation with Lee, but because Lee's only blinking, you can't hear Lee. But it's lovely, because they can do it as well as me, and so
And it's nice to know you've got a really strong team.
Yeah, amazing.
Because
amazing.
You wouldn't be able to do it without all the help, and from Claire as well.
Oh, my best friend Claire.
So tell us about Claire.
Oh, Claire, my little rock. She's been there from the beginning. We've been friends, we've lost count, 20+ years. But literally from the minute I phoned her, she was there, and she's never left my side. We call each other wifey. But she is my wifey. Literally, like, when Lee was in hospital, if I went home, she would have the kids and she would make them dinner, or if I couldn't get up to hospital, she'd go and see Lee. So that literally, she was my wife.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
And she's your best friend. She's helped you all the way along the way.
That's why she wasn't here today, because she was working last night with Lee, so she couldn't be here today.
I know. Well, maybe we should look at giving Claire a makeover
she's
as well.
amazing. She so deserves it.
She so deserves it as well.
I couldn't have got through it without her, honestly.
Yeah, so we'll get Claire on as well to do a makeover, because it would be really nice to give something back, because the Aesthetic Circle is all about helping women with trauma, stress, heartache, pain. I mean, I've been through a lot of stress and trauma myself. I sadly lost my brother. I sadly lost my baby dad, Skibadee, and then sadly lost my mum. So I've seen so much heartache recently and throughout my years and throughout my life. And this is why I wanted to do the show, to help women like yourself to come on the show, tell everybody your story, but also to make you feel good for the day. I mean, how have you felt?
Amazing, absolutely amazing. It's just been an amazing day.
And it's been a journey, hasn't it?
It has.
I mean,
I think it's a bit of a therapy as well from the whole time. I've been thinking what to say, and then it's reliving it all, and I thought it has been a sort of therapy.
Yeah, and I think every time you come into the clinic, we would find out more and more stuff. I mean, I didn't know that you had to have that decision to turn the machine off. I can't even imagine how you felt. but I've seen you grow into this beautiful butterfly. And if you have a look at the Instagram and Facebook, you will see Jodie before. And look at her now, guys. She just looks amazing. And you truly deserve everything, Jodie. You deserve, you know, this beautiful makeover, but also you do just deserve to be happy and feeling confident and feeling good about yourself, because all you ever do is work.
Literally.
If you haven't got the kids, you've got the grandkids, and if not, you're looking after your husband. Was you married?
Oh yes, we've been married, gosh, how old are you? 18 years, I suppose.
18
years, yeah.
Wow, it's a long time.
It's a long time.
Long time. And you're still there, because most women, I think nowadays, most women would have left.
I did see a lot, obviously, in the rehab. That's opened my eyes a lot. A lot of people wouldn't even have visitors in there, and I felt awful having visited him for one day, let alone just leave him in there. But that was my mission, Cheree. I just knew that I wanted to get Lee home with the kids. Obviously, I didn't have grown kids then. With the kids, and watch them grow up and be there. I mean, all right, like me and you can't walk about and do what the kids, but he can visually see them growing up and hear and feel it, sort of thing. And he was missing out on so much, and that was my main goal, was to get him home, and I did it.
Yeah.
And he's there now.
Oh, Jodie, it's been absolutely amazing to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's, you know, it's been a journey, and it's been great to see your whole journey and for you to come in and tell us your story, because I know it's been how difficult it's been, and there's been lots of tears and there's been lots of crying behind the scenes that we've gone through together, and we both tried to make a pledge to each other to say not to cry because every time, because we've just had our makeup done.
Don't cry.
Don't cry, because we always cry, don't we, when we get together, but you're an amazing woman, and
So, yeah.
you are amazing, and the kids, you know, what an amazing woman. Your kids are beautiful as well.
So amazing, I love them.
And for anybody that wants to come and have a makeover, please make sure you hit the link below and contact us. We are looking for some more contestants to come on the show, and if you've got a story or anything that you want to share with us, make sure that you hit us up and tell us your story and tell us why you deserve to win a makeover. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel, the Aesthetic Circle Podcast. Thank you.